The Bank of England has made a dramatic rise to its inflation forecast for next year, predicting that the rate will almost triple. The bank now expects inflation to hit 2.7% next year, up from the current rate of 1%. It also increased its prediction for economic growth from 0.8% to 1.4% for next year, but cut the 2018 forecast from 1.8% to 1.5%. An interest rate cut this year was no longer an option, the bank indicated. In light of the developments of the past 3 months, all MPC, Monetary Policy Committee, members agreed that the guidance it had issued following its August meeting regarding the likelihood of a further cut in bank rate had expired, the bank said. Paul Hollingsworth of Capital Economics said the stronger economic outlook for 2017 means that another rate cut now looked unlikely. Indeed, we think that the economy will continue to surprise, he said. The sharp rise in inflation expectations was blamed on the slide in the pound since the referendum, which is driving up prices of imported goods. The bank does not expect inflation to return to its 2% target until 2020. Others see an even more dramatic rise in inflation. This week the National Institute for Economic and Social Research said it expected inflation to quadruple to about 4% in the second half of next year. The think tank also warned that prices would accelerate rapidly during 2017 as the fall in sterling is passed on to consumers. Air of uncertainty. The revisions to growth also indicate that the bank now thinks the impact of the Brexit vote will be felt later than expected. Laith Khalif, senior analyst at Hargreaves Lansdown, warned, "What happens on the Bank of England's chalkboard doesn't necessarily play out in the economy, and with so much uncertainty in the air, it's prudent not to count too many chickens before they've hatched." In a press conference explaining the decision, Bank Governor Mark Carney also pointed out that household spending had held up better than expected since the vote to leave the EU. For households, the signs of an economic slowdown are notable by their absence, he said. Sterling was trading 1.25% higher at $1.2457 after the bank's inflation report was released, while yields on UK government bonds also rose. The bank also warned that Britain's access to EU markets could be materially reduced following Brexit, which would hit economic growth over a protracted period. The bank